What's up, Maximaniacs? How you guys doing today? So we have a couple topics to talk about on the wonderful Maximaniac Jet Show today. So first of all, before we start the show today, subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Maximaniac Jet Show. Sorry, I've not been live in 2 weeks. We have not had many breaking Jets news, really. But really, this week was the NFL Combine, and there's many viral moments I want to talk about today. So the first viral moment I want to talk about is Aaron Glenn in the press conference saying, "Oh my God, defense is my superpower." We're going to recap the press conference, and then we're going to show off the viral moment of Aaron Glenn dozing off, napping, 10 seconds on a TV spot, really bad. We'll show you that on the show. But before we start that, we have 106 subscribers currently on the Maximaniac Jet Show. So if you guys really like this content, subscribe to my YouTube show, the Maximaniac Jet Show. I want to get by like 500 subscribers by the March. I want to make sure we get more subscribers. We have free agency coming up. So let's recap the press conference that Aaron Glenn did during the NFL Combine. It was pretty bad. Let's be honest. We'll recap his press conference right now. We're gonna be recapping this wonderful press conference that Aaron Glenn did. Let's recap it right. We're gonna recap it right now. We're going to be recapping that. We're going to be recapping that press conference. Honestly, that was a pretty bad one.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. I think I've been pretty forthright about how we're going to operate this off season when it comes to the evaluation process. And when I say that, I'm talking about evaluating myself first and foremost, the coaching staff, and the team in general. And what I'm not gonna dwell too much into 2025, but I do know this: there are things that I know I have to improve on. There's mistakes that I made that I won't replicate going to this season, and I feel really good about that.
Oh man, he made so many mistakes this season. He made like 25 million mistakes. He made too many mistakes. Honestly, guys, he made so many mistakes. Let's hope he improves on the mistakes in 2026. But I highly doubt it, honestly. I don't see really any chats, so let's see if I even did anything right. I think I forgot to I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it, you know what I mean? I highly doubt it.
I feel really good about my growth process going to my second year as a head coach.
Really, growth process, Aaron Glenn? Really? Your growth process? Probably terrible. Probably the worst head coach I've ever seen in my life. What has he done that he's grown? He's probably regressed more in every area. Let's see he's grown, but let's be honest, guys. Let's see if he even does well.
And that's something I really thought about for a long time. When it comes to the coaching staff, the evaluation process took some time, and it meant to be that way. It was a process that I enjoyed. It was a process that needed to happen. And within that process, I really started to create a vision of how I want this coaching staff to look. And there was a number of things that came out of that. First and foremost is just how I'm going to be with the defense. And I will be the play caller when it comes to the defense. And man, the guys that I chose to be on the staff defensively, they really compliment me. And more than anything, they really compliment each other. And knowing I'm going to be the play caller on the defense, it really took me to make the decision as far as the offensive coordinator. And I really want to make sure that I had someone on that side that was highly experienced. And I was just fortunate enough to be able to hire Frank Wright, who not only has been a really good coordinator in this league, but also the head coach. And I feel really, really good about that. And the same thing with the defense. The guys on the offense are going to compliment him. And I really like the diversity within the staff that I have now. I do want to make sure that you guys know, listen, just because I'm going to be involved in these does not mean I'm not going to be the head coach of the team. I'm going to make sure I'm involved in all three phases, but I just know defensively I want to make sure that I get that part right. As far as the special teams is concerned, nothing changes there. Coach Banjo, Coach Kev, Coach Jet, they did a remarkable job last year, and they're staying in their respective spots. When it comes to the team, I think like every team, they change. And the guys that were sitting in those seats in 2025 are not going to be the same guys in 2026. And that's just part of it. But I do know this, man, I'm excited about the cap space as far as free agency is concerned. I'm excited about the draft capital that we have. And I know me and Matheiusch are going to do a hell of a job of trying to make sure that we bring guys on this team to fit exactly what we're going to do. So I'm excited about that process. So on that, any questions?
Why did you ultimately decide you wanted to become president? And then what would you say about like how much different the defense will look if you fully like on that?
To me, play call is my superpower, really. Doing it for 4 years.
Oh man, Aaron Glenn, you're more clueless by the day. Play calling is not your superpower; it's your weakness. Look at your defenses on the Lions. Look at the Lions defense under Aaron Glenn. It was terrible. It was very, very, very bad. This is Aaron Glenn's defenses in Detroit. He's play called for 4 years on the Lions. Look at this. Look at how bad it is, honestly. It's terrible. It's like the worst defense. Look at it. Look at that. Look at from Sports Illustrated. Lions defense is better than without Aaron Glenn. Look how bad their defense is on the Lions. Like, look how bad it was. They weren't even ranked top 10 in defensively. Terrible. Look at it. Look how bad it is. I mean, look how bad it is. Even Sports Illustrated for the Detroit Lions said that without Aaron Glenn, their defense is better. And look at it. They will have 45 points to James Daniels in the playoffs as a rookie quarterback, 45 points in the playoffs. That's how bad your defense is. And how do you have a defense? Like, how do you coach a defense? And if I was the V reporter, I'd be like, Aaron, Glenn, you had 42 interceptions throughout your entirety of your Jets coaching career. My bad. You had 42 interceptions in your playing career as a player from 1994 to 2000. How do you coach a defense that has 0 interceptions the entire season? That's total levels of ineptitude for this defense. How do you have a defense that has 0 interceptions? It's just embarrassing, honestly. Absolutely embarrassing.
Years in Detroit, and man, just look at the maturation of those 4 years of how we improved every year and how I improved as a play caller.
Really? Did you improve as a play caller, Aaron Glenn? No, you didn't. You didn't really improve. Like, come on. Your defenses were middle of the pack in the Lions, and your defense under Will. Like, and if you say your defense, your play calling superpower, why'd you not call plays at the end of the season? I understand it was a lost season, but you could have still called plays. You have that idiot Harris, who's probably worse than Al Harris. No, not bad. Your other DC after you fired Wilkes. That terrible. He wasn't even a good play caller. You know, I hope Brian Zucker and Aaron Glenn had their turn on this defense. But honestly, how can you have a defense under that 0 interceptions under Wilkes? It's probably the worst. Wilkes is probably the worst defensive coordinator I've ever seen. Terrible.
I really miss doing that, and I think it's a huge part of helping us become the team that I see us become, the team that Matheiusch see us become, the team that Woody sees us becoming. So that was a huge part of that, and I don't want to second guess that. And I will go back when I say the mistakes that I made. I'm not going to make that same mistake, and I feel like I need to do that when it comes to the team. When it comes schematically, who we're going to be, man, we have a number of guys on defense that's going to help be able to build that. And that's the fun part about building around these men is building a defense that I think that that's going to actually put the players in position to be successful. And this is not my defense. This is going to be the New York Jets defense. And everybody on that side is going to be a huge part as far as building next. So I'm excited about that.
Aaron, you said play calling was your superpower. What led to your process last year that you weren't going to be calling plays on defense and that over this season?
Yeah.
What led to that process of saying, listen, I know I'm a really good play caller,
Yeah.
but this year is going to be a little different?
Well, that's a good question. Being a first-time head coach and really wanted to do it the right way, I felt like the best decision for me was to allow someone else to be able to do that so I can manage the game. As the seasons progressed and I started getting to the end of the season, I started to feel like, I can still call and be able to manage it just as well. And again, I'll be honest with you, I miss being the play caller. I miss being able to be in the fire with those guys, being able to talk to the Mike linebacker, being able to be in the meeting room and try to put a game plan together to be successful against another team. So like all those things came into it for me, and I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm excited about moving forward in that direction. I'm glad that you asked that. And let me preface this by saying this first. You get respected in this league by winning, and when you do that, there's certain narratives that like just really change. And I think there's a narrative about this team. I think there's a narrative about me, about our general manager, and about Woody that really needs to change. And here's how Woody operates in this situation. I have an opportunity to go in there and speak with him about my vision on how I see the coaching staff, my vision on how I see the team. And Woody's answer is always, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you be successful? And I feel fortunate to be in a position to have an owner that operates that way. So I would really like that narrative to change, that he's involved. He's trying to force me or Matheiusch to do certain things. Man, he's there to support. He's always been there to support. And the only thing I can speak for is myself and my relationship with him. And it's been outstanding. So I guess to answer your question, he is not pushing me to pick coaches. He is not pushing me to operate this team a certain way. The only thing he's doing is supporting it. And I feel fortunate to have an owner like that. Say that one more time. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's something that I think as an overall league that we try to do the best we can to make sure that we pick the right coaches. And there's a number of African-American coaches that I do think deserve an opportunity. And I know that they're going to get their just due, when the time is right. And yes, that time is now also, but I do understand the fact that every team operates a little different, and they're going to pick the guy that actually fits what they want to do. And I think that's how you make decisions for the most part. That's how I pick the coaching staff. That's how we pick players. And I think for the most part, that's how each team do it. But I do know there are a number of African-American coaches that deserve to be head coaches, and I'm sure they'll get their just due. Yep. Yeah. Very bright. Have a ton of conversations with Joe. He's a really good friend of mine. Very innovative. Obviously, I don't think the offense is going to change at all. It's just, he's the head coach now, so he's making the call. So now he understands how it is to sit in this seat, which it'd be good to have conversation with him about that also. But he's going to do a hell of a job. He's a hell of a coach. And again, I've been. Yeah. I don't know anything about those retirement conversations, but I do know that he was coaching at Stanford. And I think that's another notch.
Frank Wright could be a decent OC, but Aaron Glenn saying, his defenses are a superpower. His not a superpower. It's a weakness. Guys, this is Aaron Glenn's superpower right now. This is his superpower. It's a salsa dance. But honestly, guys, anyone who wants to type in the chat what your superpower is, because Aaron Glenn's superpower is, quote, Aaron Glenn's supposed superpower, as he says in his press conferences, is, quote, unquote, calling defenses his superpower. So really, tell me in the chat, what are your superpowers? And if you had a superpower, what would you be? For me, it would be, spreading the word of God to other people, evangelizing other people. That's my superpower, sharing my testimony to inspire other people to better their lives. That is my superpower. So tell me in the chat what your superpowers are and why.
In our belt, because I do think once you go to college, there's certain things on offense that you can bring to this league that's actually coming to our league that he's going to be able to help us with. And there's a number of coaches, young coaches on this staff that's going to help him, and innovative coaches at that. Seth, for example, that's going to help him be able to expand what he's trying to do offensively. And there's a number of conversations me and Frank had. I know exactly how we're going to operate when it comes to the offense, but I look forward to some of these young guys that we got to really put in their spiel on how they think the offense should operate also.
Aaron, you hired your staff last year.
Yep. Yep.
After 1 year at the basketball,
yeah.
Why is it going to be different this time? All the new additions you made now.
Yeah, that's another good question. Here's part of the process that we had going through this whole this coaching search was, Matheiusch was a huge part of it. Rick Spielman was a huge part of it. And I want to get their opinions on what they thought. And every coach that was brought into this building, man, I want to make sure there was synergy between me and that coach. And I think that was one of the mistakes that I had last year is you hire a coordinator, okay, bring the guys in that you feel comfortable with. And like that hasn't changed, but man, there was a lot of conversations between me and each coach to make sure there was synergy between me and that coach. So I feel very comfortable with that. I thought the process was outstanding. And listen, I know that it took some time, and I meant it to take time so I can make sure we get the right guys.
Aaron, one piece that's
Yep. Yep.
experienced play caller. He's probably not going to go to a job and not focus.
Yep. Yep.
So why did you go down the road with Wade if you were attending the call?
To really understand how the process went, first off, we had these interviews on Zoom, and those interviews are more personal. Man, let me see the character of the coach. Let me see how we can vibe just on Zoom, and then start to bring certain guys in to have really one-on-one interviews. And during those interviews, my decision was made that I was going to be the play caller. And when I brought Wink in and told him that, man, he would still go. But then again, as I thought about the whole situation, man, Brian Duke been with me for 3 years. Man, he'd been through the fire with me to when, man, we were not a team that brought a lot of defensive guys early into Detroit. And he's been through the fire. He knows exactly how I want to operate. And, man, I think there's nothing more valuable than having that type of relationship with somebody. Listen, I thought Winks was going to do a really good job, but I just thought Brian Duke was the right guy for this job. Say it one more time. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're really getting out of my realm when it comes to the NIL because I have never had to deal with that. So, but I do know it's a real thing, and a lot of these players are taking pay cuts really coming to this league now. But I will say this: is it deserved? Probably so, because of the amount of money they bring to the college, and even though these guys are coming in with this enormous amounts of money, I think the principle of
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Aaron Glenn at the press conference, aka Mr. Trusty Bro. But let me also show you the other viral moment that was very viral this week in terms of Mr. Aaron Glenn. I will show you. Let me show you the other thing that went viral. He dozed off at the combine.
One. Jeremiah Love, who will also see prospects as Aaron
Look at
Glenn
Aaron
looks
Glenn
on for the
sleeping. Look at
Jets.
him sleeping.
Fernando Mendoza, 1. Jeremiah Love, who we'll also see on Saturday here on NFL Network, the running back from Notre Dame, 2. And then number 3 is David Bailey. The prospects as Aaron Glenn looks on for the Jets.
Oh my God! Look at him sleeping. Look at him dozing at the combine. Like I got it a little boring, but be a little serious, you know. I mean, I got you sleep off camera, you know. But like, why would you be on camera, you know, sleeping or like dozing off? It's not a good look for your organization, you know, especially for the Jets. You know, we have the longest playoff drought in NFL, 15 years. It's pretty bad if you're dozing off. Really, I get like you don't want to see everyone's 40 time or bench press, you know. It's not like a big part of the evaluation. A lot more of a big evaluation, you know, is the character, guys, you know. You know, it's more the character. No one cares about how fast you can run the 40-yard dash or how bad we do the bench, you know. Especially in free agency in the draft. We need players with an attitude. We can't have players who are finesse or have quit. You know, we have to have players who have fight, who win, who are tough, hard nosed. We got to get boys with an attitude. You know, we got players that have an attitude, you know, that want to win. You know, the Jets have employed for so long losers, you know, so really in the draft, you know, but you got like the combine is a good start, but you also need to go to the senior day. You got to go to the visits. You know, we got to get players with an attitude. We got players with fight. You know, Rocky Balboa, and back in the day, you know, he had fight. Johnny Lawrence. You know, you have to keep moving forward as a player. Players have good discipline. You know, we got to do the beast breaker strategy. I mean, Max, where you been, man? It's for my birthday. It hasn't been a lot of breaking Jets news, so. But I'm still on the Jake Asman show. We're going to be going live more now since we have free agency. We have free agency coming up. There just hasn't been a lot of. What do you think, Eli Vesey, excited for tomorrow? Where do you think you rank? Eli, I don't know yet. Probably a top 5 seed. Let's see. We have the Asmaniac Madness show tomorrow. What do you think you're going to be, Eli? What do you bet my seeding's going to be? What do you bet? Honestly, Eli, you missed out on some stuff so far. We were just talking about Aaron Glenn's superpower. His superpower is quote unquote his play calling. Eli, type me in the chat. What do you think your superpower is on defense? Like, tell me your superpower. Like, if you had a supposed superpower, what would it be? Because I said my superpower. If I had a supposed superpower, be my evangelism. Like, come on, it would be great. Little evangelism thing. Oh, I didn't qualify. Oh man, let's see. I'll be voting for you. Thank you. We'll definitely. I'm excited for Asmaniac Madness. You know, that's definitely another breaking Jets news. I'm in Asmaniac Madness, so I got to, you know, everyone vote for everyone who watches my show. If you want to subscribe to Max Maniac Jets show. Anyone who subscribes, you got to vote for me in Asmaniac Madness this year. You got to vote for me to win. You know, but let's see. Hopefully, I win though. I don't care what the result is. We just need to glorify God's name in this tournament. You know, we gotta do it to better the community. You know what I mean? Who cares? Win, lose, whatever. We gotta win. We got, you know. Max, I'm all in on Sonny Styles. Am I wrong? He could be a good player. You know, he has an attitude. We just need players. You know, Eli, we have to do the beast breaker strategy. We do have $3 billion. So with the $3 billion, we got to get all the ice baths in. We got to have players who have muscles. You know, look at the players we have right now, Eli. We're weak. We don't have muscles. You know, we need players who have fight. You know, the Johnny Lawrence mentality. I'm like a huge Cobra Kai fan, Eli. So we got to have players who have a mentality. We need strong men in this building who have fight. They can win. They can be disciplined. You know, we don't have the penalties. You know, we don't need finesse players. We need players who are ballers. You know, Styles plays multiple positions. We just need players who have fight and they have character and they want to better the team and better themselves and like keep moving forward. As Johnny Lawrence likes to say, keep moving forward. You know, we want to have players who are not losers. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's okay to lose. You know, I want players who hate losing. You know, they want to win all the time. You know. Rumor is Sonny has his own cold tub. Although Reese doesn't. Does it change your mind who we join the two? I don't care. We just need players to have an attitude. But I think Sonny Styles can be the better pick because he has the cold tub. You know, I think we do need an ice bath. we do have the ice bath, which is true. Shame says Rocky had to fight Johnny Lawrence. That's true, but Johnny Lawrence is like the toughest person ever. You know, that's if I had to pick a TV show character who we want our players to be, Johnny Lawrence is definitely, or Rocky. You know, we need tough old school players who, you know, the new generation of players. You know, we don't want finesse players. You know, Corley was probably the worst pick of all time. He was probably the worst pick. But you guys excited for March Madness coming up? We got I want Falk at 16 and Styles at 2. Good. I think it'd be a good idea. We need Styles at 2, and then we need Malachi Lemon or receiver in the first. We can't go defense, you know. Frankie V, a.k.a. Tanky V, had the worst draft take I've ever seen. On one of his shows, like, oh, we're going to go both defensive players. Shoot me if we go defense. Shoot me. Probably one of the worst decisions we're making. Shoot me for going defense with both the picks. Probably the worst selections I've ever seen in my life. Why would you go defense with both picks? I got defense, but let's see what we do in free agency. We do have a while, but we do need Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is my top wide receiver 2 prospect. What do you guys think? And also breaking Jets news, the Jets traded Jermaine Johnson to the Tennessee Titans for Devondre Sweat. I think Sweat's a very good player. What do you guys' thoughts on that? Oh, I want defense both picks in first round. Probably Eli. That's like the worst. That's the worst draft take I've ever seen. I mean, I don't think we don't do defense with both the picks. We do defense with one of the picks, and we do offense with the second pick. Or we do offense with the first pick, defense with the second pick. We got to go both offense and defense. We do need players with an attitude, that's for sure. Will that put us with the best linebacker core? If we got Reese, maybe. But I feel like Sonny Styles is like very like versatile linebacker. But really, I think Ruben Bain can also be good. But really, it's a debate where we're gonna do it too. You guys give me that Jake Asman draft party in Pittsburgh? I probably won't be there unless they win as Maniac Madness, you know. Unless they win it. I mean, Pittsburgh's so far, you know what I mean? Let's be honest. But let's see with Aaron Glenn. But we have so much time. Let's see. What do you guys predict for March Madness, honestly? I predict Michigan will win the title. I got 2 I predict. I predict Michigan's going to win the title by a long shot. They're going to win like so much money. Like they're going to win a lot of money today. You know what I mean? But let's see. What do you guys predict for Asmania Madness? What do you guys predict? Like, let's be honest. What do you predict? Like, what do you guys predict? And then for March Madness, you know, I think some upsets could hit. What are you targeting at 33? Also thoughts on AG taking a nap. Oh, man, the AG taking a nap thing is terrible. And then for 33, I wouldn't even know second round. I think quarterback could be good. I mean, I know Ty Simpson wants to be a Jet, but I think Garrett Nussmeier could be good in the second round. Or I think Gerard can be a good mid-round quarterback. We do need to take quarterback, though. Or we get a flyer in free agency with Cousins and stuff. But we do need to get whether it's Cousins or Malik Willis. There are a lot of good options for free agency. I think my top option is Malik Willis, but we're going to be evaluating quarterbacks. Once it gets close next month, though, once free agency gets closer, we're going to be evaluating all the quarterbacks, honestly. I won't cut any slack, personally. You're there to see how these players perform. This is the most important draft of your career. Grab coffee and suck it up. Taking a nap is pathetic. That's true. I won't even cut slack. All these content creators who cut slack, they're just the bootlickers, honestly. But what has Aaron Glenn done well as a head coach? He's like, oh, he's going to be improving Eli. Like, Eli, if I was being honest with myself and I'd be grading Aaron Glenn, I would grade him a 0 out of 10. I'm shocked he's not even fired. I'm shocked he even be fired. I mean, look at the coaches on the market. We had McDermott on the market. We had Tomlin on the market. We had Harbaugh on the market. We had Stefanski on the market. We had McCarthy on the market. You'd rather have I would rather have those coaches, but Woody Johnson would be like, oh, I'd rather have Mr. Trust Me Bro as a head coach. That's what I like to call him. I like to call Aaron Glenn Mr. Trust Me Bro. Very good at what trust me. It's terrible. He said it himself. He calls plays really well. Let's see how big of a lie that is. 100% so true, Eli. 100%. Look how bad it is on defense. Seriously, look how bad it is, honestly, Eli. Like, honestly, it's like the biggest lie of all time. His defenses in Detroit were like so middle of the pack. It's crazy. Like, his defenses were so bad in Detroit. Like, oh my God, it was like middle of the pack defenses. They weren't even that good. It's so bad, Eli, that it's been so bad that literally right afterwards, like when Shepard was the defensive coordinator, it was much better. That's my thoughts on it. Let's see. We only have 2 people in this sub, so if anyone wants to market the show, but really there isn't a lot of Jets news, like baseball wise. We have spring training going on. Let's talk about. There's a lot of big sports takes. So the Knicks have been doing better lately. The Knicks have been dealing recently. They've been winning a bunch of games. They won yesterday, 127-98. And then they've been really on a hot streak. They've only lost 1 game in the last couple of days. They haven't lost a game since Friday, Tuesday. But they've been on a hot streak, But they've only been losing 2 games. Eli Betts says, if AG is going to call plays on defense, then you better get playmakers. The defense lacks playmakers badly. Styles and Falk. Make it happen. 100%. We do need players. Eli, as I reiterate many times before, we need players that have an attitude. We need players who have balls and we have muscles, Eli Bass says, why did Reese's production drop off? Were teams scheming to slow him down? That's probably the reason, Eli. They probably were I think other teams are just trying to scheme him and slow him down. But I have to watch film of him. Not a big college football fan, but I know Orville Reese is one of the top names. Once it gets closer to the draft, though. But Jake Asman knows so much. Joe Blewett is a good guy. But the Knicks have been doing good lately. The Yankees are going to be doing good lately with my sport takes. They're going to be doing good this year with Judge and Bellinger. At least the Yankees re-signed Cody Bellinger to that extension. Imagine if Cody Bellinger didn't re-sign. Probably the Dodgers would have signed it. Probably the worst move for Major League Baseball right now. There's no salary cap. Everyone's all so worried. Oh my God, there's going to be a lockout. Come on, it's not going to be that bad. They're going to figure it out in MLB. They got to have a salary cap. That's just my opinion on it. They got to have a salary cap. Eli Betts says, what's your thoughts on Ty Simpson? Very good player. He wants to come to the Jets, so we could draft him, just not at number 2. Maybe at 16 or in the second round if he drops. That North Dakota State kid seems to be on every Jets fan's radar. What's the guy's name from North Dakota? What's the guy's name? But Ty Simpson could be a good pick, just not number 2. Number 16 is fine, but even then, you there's not a success rate for quarterbacks drafted mid-first round. Max, look up that running back from Arkansas. He started McNabb, Team Widow. Eli, we're keeping Brees Hall. We're keeping him. We're going to keep him. We're going to franchise tag him. It'd probably be the stupidest move of all time if we got rid of Brees Hall. Stupid. Because I know if you wanted to get rid of Brees Hall, you could have gotten at the trade deadline for a third. And then you're just going to let Brees Hall walk for nothing. Probably one of the stupidest moves of all time, honestly. Madden Extra Life. Jake Azen on this wonderful show. Thank you, Jake Asman, for popping onto this Max Maniac Jet show. Honestly, Jake Asman gets so many of you subscribers to come onto this show. Honestly, Jake, you could call in right now. I pinned the StreamYard link, honestly. We can brag about his Maniac Madness tomorrow. We can brag about it. He ran a 4.33 40-yard dash. Probably one of the fastest 40-yard dash times of all time. But let's see what Jake has. Anyway, you guys know Jake Asman was on this show today. We're gonna honestly, Jake, we got to get some of your Asmaniacs to subscribe to the Max Maniac Jets show. We currently only have 106 subscribers. I produce the best New York Jets content. I'm probably one of the better content creators, but we got to get so many Asmaniacs, calling in. Who stood out to you at the combine? I feel like Aaron Glenn dozing off. That's probably what stood out to me the most. I don't really watch the players running up and down, but really what stood out to me is, you know what I mean? The Aaron Glenn dozing off for 15 seconds. It was very bad shame. And, people are going to make excuses. Oh, he just dozed off for 10 seconds. And especially in the national media, you can't be dozing off for 10 seconds while cameras are pointing at you. I understand, you could doze off, but just not when the cameras are pointing towards you, sham. Not a good look for the Jets, especially with the longest playoff drought, I'm not overblowing, but this is the most important year of Aaron Glenn's career. Charles Gorman joined the show. What's up, Charles?
Hey, man. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You guys are.
What's up, Charles?
What brings me out here? Just wanted to see how you doing, young fella.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Charles Gorman. How you doing today?
So you can just call me Charles. You know, they call me by my full name every.
So, Charles, what do you think of the move for Aaron Glenn to say, "Oh, his defense is a superpower"? What are your thoughts on that, Charles?
I think it's an idiotic man statement to make. I mean, you haven't proved shit yet. I mean, so far the only thing you've proven is that you haven't been a very good head coach so far. Listen, man. I'm sure you want to talk about the Jermaine Johnson trade. I think it's going to work out for both teams. I mean, Jermaine Johnson, I don't think he fit well under Aaron Glenn's defensive scheme or Steve Wilkes, whatever defensive scheme you want to call it. I always thought he was more of a 4-3, which was the type of system Robert Saleh has ran his entire career as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive coach. He's a good player, Jermaine Johnson, good person. I like the nose tackle, Trevion Sweat, whatever the hell. I know his last name is Sweat. He's a 360-pound nose tackle that can stuff the run. We can definitely use that because we have been terrible against the run, not just this past season, but even under Saleh, we haven't been very good against the run. So we need to do a better job against that. As for, I didn't see the combine. I was busy, shopping with my dad, getting some food, some water and stuff like that. So
is it because you're excited? Are you just doing this for your Asmaniac watch party, the Madness watch party tomorrow?
I'm not doing the Asmaniac. No, it's for me. Like I needed water for my house.
That's
for
true.
Me. I needed some food for me because I can't be eating out all the time.
Yeah.
So, nah, man. It's just I didn't watch the combine. I'm sure Fernando Mendoza did well. I'm sure Chad Simpson did well. But
And what's your thoughts on Aaron Glenn dozing off for 10 seconds on the camera? What's your thoughts on that, Charles?
Joe Douglas did the same shit a few years ago. He did the same shit a few years ago. So there's that. Look, I just hope the Jets do well. I know some people were talking about. I know Rick Kent, huge shout out to him. Thinks Ruben Bain's going to be the next Vernon Golston. We shall see, man. We shall see. You never can predict anything. At number 2, I think I would. I personally. I know people talk about David Bailey. I watched some of his tape. He looks good, but I think the safest pick at number 2 is Averill Reese.
Averill Reese. I mean, he could be a good pick. Oh, so Sham says, what kind of food, Charles?
What kind of food? Like chicken tenders. Chicken tenders. Taquitos.
Where do you get the chicken tenders from? Mainly, are you just go to Applebee's all the time and get like the chicken tenders or the Cane's place?
No, I just said Apple. I got it from Costco. Frozen chicken tenders from Costco.
Are they
from Costco? Got taquitos from Costco. Yeah. So there's that.
But got some water from Costco. Where do you eat out a lot, Charles? Where do you eat out at a lot?
Wherever I'm able, whatever I choose. Besides I'm in Woodbridge, New Jersey.
So you go to Applebee's a lot, or like what's like the move?
I haven't been to Applebee's in a few weeks.
I mean, I was just at Applebee's.
I'm at the 101 Olympics Gala in Woodbridge, New Jersey right now. Just came out here because there was no much noise because when I was on the Addison show, shout out to Addison, there was a lot of noise. I was in the building. There was a lot of music playing. They couldn't really hear me, and nor could I really hear them. So I'm out here, so people can hear me better, so I can hear them better. I go out wherever I choose. It's not like I have to go to this place. I want to go to this. It's just not like I go to this place on this day. You know what I mean? So that's all I really want to say. Keep up the good work, young fella. Are you in your college dorm still? Where's your college roommate at?
He's just home for the weekend. I'm just in my apartment. I was at a party today, and then I was with my boys yesterday. I was with my boys, and I was like we had a little crew, Iron Men, just something for our church, and then I'm in this club called the Navigators, Charles, which is a Christian-based Bible study club at my school. So some of my boys who were with me, you're going to the Jake Asman watch party. You going to the draft party this year or not really?
I'm going to a draft party in Hoboken hosted by the Talking Jets crew, Green Bean, Brian Delaney, Matt O'Leary, those guys.
But what
I'm going to them.
You're not going to Jake Asman's because it's in Pittsburgh?
It's in Pittsburgh. I don't know it was in Pittsburgh. When is that? April 23rd?
April 23rd. Jake Asman just announced on the show. He was like, "Oh, I'm doing the little draft party in Pittsburgh."
No, I just actually went there because, it was, talked about by Green Bean when he was on Nick's show the other day. So I'm going to Hoboken. Plus, you know, I would love to go to. I've never been to Pittsburgh. I've been to Pennsylvania before, especially Philadelphia, but I've never been to Pittsburgh.
You've never been to
But we
Pittsburgh?
felt the
You never been to it? Oh my God, such a nice city. Pittsburgh is such a nice city. I've been to it like multiple times. I was actually on a bike tour like 4 or 5 years ago. So nice, super nice city. Acrisure Stadium is super nice. I've never been to the stadium, but I have family.
Acrisure, they used to be called Heinz Field. How they named it Acrisure.
You used to be called Heinz Field, but I was on a bike tour a couple times in Pittsburgh. We've been on a bike tour, so I've seen like Pittsburgh with the bridges and stuff. Very nice city. They have a ton of bridges. Like their bridges are yellow. It's a big, like very big sports town. They have the Penguins, they have the Steelers. So
They better be a big sports town. Shit. I mean, you got the Steelers and the Penguins. You got the Pirates, even though they've been terrible for God knows how long. But you know what I mean. So I'm gonna get back inside. Have a good day, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. And then final question before you leave. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Charles Gorman on the show. Sham says not going to Nick Shine's event. Let's see. He's going to Talking Jets, but let's see. I don't think I'm going to any draft party, let's be honest. Maybe the only event maybe I'll go to is Nick Shine's. Probably not Jake's. Like that's in Pittsburgh, which is super far away. Sham said another kid replacement for Brees if he leaves is a kid from Washington. Eli, we are not replacing Brees Hall. It is the stupidest move. All these content creators, Nick Shine, who's like, oh my God, we're going to get rid of Brees Hall. Really? Are you really kidding me, Eli? We're going to franchise tag. We're either going to do the franchise tag or the transition tag. We're not going to get rid of Brees Hall. Or we're going to extend him to a contract. We are not going to get rid of Brees Hall. And if we get rid of him, it is the stupidest move ever. Like, Brees Hall's a top running back in the NFL. One of the top running backs. He's probably better than 50% of most running backs in the NFL. If we get rid of him, it's like a Saquon leaving the Giants situation. Probably one of the worst. It'd probably be one of the worst deals of all time. Probably one of the worst. Looks terrible. Probably one of the worst moves of all time, honestly. Like, imagine if we get rid of him. That would be bad for our defense. But final points before we go today. I think the Yankees are going to be doing great this season. The Yankees are going to be doing great. And then I think the Mets can bounce back. And then for the Jets, we really have free agency going on. We have a couple players I want. So we got to get Alec Pierce. He could be a very good wide receiver too for the Jets. Very, very good. And then I want to get some more defensive players. Whether it's Anzalone. The guy he's 34, but he could be a really good player for the Jets team. And then really the final free agency. The final free agent I want to get, we got to get maybe Michael Pittman if it doesn't really work out. If we can't get Alec Pierce, we can get Michael Pittman. But we need a wide receiver too badly. But before I go, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Matheiusch Jets Show. We currently have 109 subscribers. I want to get some more subscribers on the show. Have a good day, everyone, and go Jets. Yeah.